Hey everybody, welcome to the Four Stacks Beer Show. I am your host, Nathan Hangen. Beside me is this bearded beauty known as Mike Frail Day Fry. And today we're here to talk about beer. We're going to drink some beer and talk about it. If you've watched the show before, or actually anybody out there who's watching, if you're watching now, before you hit close or you scroll through Facebook to the next thing or whatever, find us on iTunes. We just put the podcast on iTunes, the video version. We're trying to get new and noteworthy and get some reviews going, get some buzz. So if you have a minute, if you could go to iTunes, search for the Four Stacks Beer Show, subscribe, even if you set it to one episode or don't download episodes. Obviously, we'd love you to download every episode, but subscribe. If you have the time to write a review, we would really appreciate it. We're just trying to, we're doing our hustle. We're trying to get out there, and I know. The rest of the world would love this Four Stacks Beer Show. If it was presented to them. So if you could do that, that'd be great. So yeah, we're on iTunes. That's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know us, I am, I guess, head brewer and operator.
You're the brewmaster.
The brewmeister.
Yeah, brewmaster.
Although these days I do so little brewing, it's almost an insult to the term. My assistant brewer here, Mike, does most of the brewing. We're going to talk about one of our beers today, a new beer. But we just brought on Keith on the team, who was here a couple episodes ago, drinking that boot. The whole time.
Listening it bubble away. Yeah.
It was perfect. Keith just left, or else we'd have him on the show. I do want to get Keith back on the show. I think we're due for that.
Yeah.
We need guests in general. We were supposed to do outside today. Just time got away from us.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And then it rains, and then everyone starts to come inside.
Yeah. Well, I actually meant outside in the front end of the business, but
people.
I know.
This is as close as I want to get to people. Right?
That's true. That's true. We get a nice wall of protection here. It is Friday, so you're going to hear some laughter and some glasses clanking, some cackling for sure. I was laughing and cackling earlier, and Cassie said I had an evil laugh, which I thought I was actually. I took it as a compliment.
You should.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the beer. The gist of the show is that we brew beer. We love craft beer. We're trying to eliminate the snobbery from craft beer. There's so much of it.
The term you've used is the pretentiousness.
Pretentiousness, yeah. And the craft beer douchebaggery. Yeah. There's just, for me, craft beer is all about a good product that you like. It doesn't have to become a thing. Like, I like craft beer, I like to drink it. Like, it doesn't have to become like a stamp collection.
Yeah.
Whereas you're sort of a bottle share guy. I have to say bottle share.
You don't have to say
bottle share guy. I'm personally an
an
anti-bottle share. I still attend them, but I think that's borderline douchebaggery. So anyway, you're if there was a douchebag, a craft beer douchebag on the show, it would be you, and I would be the layman.
If there was.
So it's like the odd couple here.
Yeah.
Felix and Oscar. I don't remember which one is which.
I don't either. You're way older than I am, so.
Yeah, by like 8 years, 7 years. Anyway.
Do you?
Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. So today we're going to get right into it. We have we've got 2 beers to review.
We do.
One of them is from your cellar, which I think we're starting with your cellar.
We can.
Beer. Yeah. And then we're going to do a Four Stacks beer, and then we have the mystery beer. So let's get it going.
All right. So this one here is the Stones Enjoy After Christmas Eve, 12/24 of 2016.
Well, you said enjoy after, and people are like, well, what does that mean?
Right.
We've done enjoy by.
Right.
We haven't done enjoy after.
Correct.
So talk to us about that.
So the enjoy after, they ask you to enjoy it afterwards. This is fermented with
after a certain date, and why is that?
Because of the Brett strain.
Correct.
That is used in there. So as it sits,
Brettanomyces.
Correct. You use like the big long words. It's Brett.
Yeah.
So for the non-douchebaggeries. It's just called Brett.
For all the people out there who don't know anything about sour beers, and it's a sour IPA, or Brettanomyces, and the Enjoy By, they want you to get it before it goes stale.
Right.
The Enjoy After is made with a different kind of yeast, which sits in the bottle, and you can age it, basically, which is a rare thing with IPAs. And because it's sour, you get more character over time. So this is a year old, but it doesn't mean it's a stale beer. I guess we'll find out if it's stale or not. But it's the first year-old beer we've done. Besides the mystery beer that Liz brings us.
What, 8 months, 7 months?
Yeah, it's gonna be Christmas before you know it.
Yeah, probably.
Christmas in July. So 12/24/16.
Yes.
What's the stats? Give us
So on this one here, we got some 7% alc/vol.
Okay.
And this is a 1 pint. So 1 pint, 9.36 flowing ounces.
So it's 25.36 ounces. Okay. And what?
I don't know if you really want me to read the story.
Does it say anything with the hops that are used in it? So we know it's a Brett.
We do. So it's age until or beyond.
It says do not refrigerate, which we did, but that's...
Way to go. Spread, yeah, thanks, respect, Spike Flexibility, join now, something, hops, nothing.
Okay. So the first thing I noticed is it's got that funky Brett Saison-ish farmhouse smell. Yeah.
I got that right.
It's like if you took sweaty socks and fresh sweaty socks, not like sitting around the house for a while, but like fresh.
I've got some fresh ones if you want to take a whiff.
I love it's the details that matter. They got the stone, the gargoyle on. I mean, the gargoyle is a kick-ass logo. Corked beer, okay. So it's got that funk. I don't get a lot of hops in the nose, and you wouldn't anyway because it's 6 months old.
It's gonna 7 months old. Yeah, it's gonna fade out pretty quickly.
I've had this beer before.
Yeah.
I don't really. It was like a while back. I don't really recall my tasting notes. I don't have them handy. I'm not a tasting notes type of guy anyway. I guess that would be borderline douchey.
I'm not a tasting notes guy, so I just enjoy beer.
I'd have to go back to my Untapped.
Jesus, what year is it Untapped?
Cool. I feel like I'm getting some. I don't know, something in there that I'm not sure I like, to be honest.
Really? Like what?
Like almost like an astringency, like
a stainless steel metallic flavor.
No, let me go. There's the cackling and the laughing. Somebody's having a good time. Happy Friday.
Out there. Good Lord.
It's like almost tannic, like sucking on a grape skin.
On chili dog.
I would say this has a leather, like Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you ever watched Wine Library, but he was great, like at the whole description thing. Dirt. I don't know if you ever saw him go on Conan, but he made Conan like eat dirt and leather and everything. It was pretty funny. It was a while back, but I would describe this as leathery and like old leather.
I wouldn't go that far.
Like a 20-year-old pair of cowboy boots.
There's some brightness to it in there.
That's one character I'm describing. And then, like I said, maybe some I feel like almost like grape tones.
Like what kind of grape though? Like a white?
White grape, yeah.
White grape? Okay. I can agree with the white grape.
It's actually mellowing out. Can I have another? Whatever you want to call it. All foam. So as you can see, it doesn't. Well, it was chilled, and it's been sitting here for maybe half an hour. So that could affect the carbonation, but it's probably one of the things about bottled beer is if it's overly carbonated, it usually means it's not done fermenting. And in this case, it's meant to be cellared, which I guess is bottle conditioned, which means there's yeast in the bottle that will continually eat the sugar to make the carbonation.
It could.
Which means that sometimes, like as a home brewer, I used to they call it a bottle bomb. Or if your beer is infected or you don't get all the yeast out or it's not finished fermenting, you put it in the bottle, it basically produces too much carbonation for the bottle, so it can explode. Or you open it and it does this, which is just.
Didn't that happen to Jim Cook when he was doing his first rounds?
It's possible.
So if I remember correctly, reading his book, the first one that he talked about when he was doing
Sam Adams guy you're talking about.
Yeah, doing the Boston Lager. He said he had cases. He just started hearing explosions.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah. And that happened to me as a home brewer in the closet. Actually, no. This batch I had in the garage, thankfully, because Heather would have killed me.
Oh yeah.
It was in the closet.
Yeah, she would have murdered you.
The whole reason we have a brewery is because she wanted me to get out of the house. She didn't realize what she was in for.
I had no idea.
So anyway, I was suggesting that the amount of carbonation here is a result of maybe the beer had either.
And I do notice those sometimes though with the funky styles and the funkiness that they add in. It definitely, to me, I always notice it attributes to levels of carbonation.
Well, here's the thing about Brett.
And how the bubbles offset.
So your typical beer yeast, it's called, people call it sack, because it's a different strain. You have like Brettanomyces, you have like your typical ale and lager yeast, and then you have your Well, you have like lactobacillus,
Right.
which we use for kettle sours and things like that. So, but anyway, so your standard ale yeast and lager yeast too eats simple and certain sugars. There's certain sugars, like complex sugars, that it can't eat.
Right.
And that's why, like, when you brew a beer that's sweeter, it's because it has extra, like we use, let's just say crystal malt, and it doesn't ferment all the way because it's too complex for the yeast that we use.
Right.
But Brett can eat almost anything. And so you could take a beer that we make, like let's just say all mixed up, which we're going to do in a minute. You could add Brett to it, and then suddenly you have Brett going to town.
Yeah.
That just sounds bad. Brett's going to town.
Yeah, it does.
But anyway, so it could eat the rest of the sugars, and then you have a really dry beer, which is what this is, super dry, which I like dry beers.
Yes.
It's super dry and then overly foamy, but I just think it's interesting that Brett is it's like the vulture of yeast.
Of yeast, yeah.
Yeah, it can eat anything. It's like are lobsters scavengers?
I think so, yeah.
What about shrimp?
Yeah.
Prawns and all them. Bottom feeder.
They're bottom feeders, yeah.
So what's your untapped rating on this? We've talked a lot about leather and white grape.
Leather and spice and everything else.
It's actually smell it out for me, by the way. I don't get any more of that flavor that I didn't like.
You what?
Yeah, I don't get that flavor that I didn't like.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of torn on this one. You know, Brett beers, I'm kind of hit or miss with them. It's a style that I'm trying to get into, and I've drank in quite a few of them just to try to find that right one. You know, and I'm still on the hunt for it. I'm still on the same hunt for it, and I'm kind of hovering right about now. It's probably a 3.75-4. Is where I'm sitting at with this one.
Yeah, so it's a sour IPA, right? So the Brett quality is there. It's dry. It is funky. It is like I said, leather, tannic, white grape. A little. I think what I'm picking up though is their attempt at the IPA here. So it's got to be an IPA. You got to have some bitterness, right? Yeah. And I feel like you can pick up the bitterness, but I feel because it's been aging so long that the bitterness has sort of just become this. The strange astringent undertone, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, in Known Stone, I mean, they always like the really hop forward beers. So I can see them really making an intensely hop forward beer, and then that Brett kind of takes away from it, and then the age takes away from it as well.
Yeah, and so I would call it a gimmick. There's a reason they don't distribute a lot of it, and I think it's because doesn't represent who they are. I think it's a cool idea, but I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5. I'm a huge Stone fanboy, but I just don't like. There's a reason we have. 5 more bottles of this stuff. We've sold some, we've taken it home, and I just don't dig it that much. To style, to preference, either one, to me is a 3.5. Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's not hateful, right?
I mean, it's pretty hateful, but it's all right.
Pretty hateful?
Yeah.
I'll still drink it. It certainly beats a PBR.
No, it doesn't.
Actually, PBR's...
It's pretty good. Told you.
Yeah. I had a Coors Light this week, by the way, which because I remember those Coors Lights that I used to keep in the cooler here.
You took them home?
Yeah, I took them home, and they've been sitting there, and I was like, "Shit, I'm out of beer. Do I drive to get beer, or do I drink the Coors Light?"
Coors Light.
I drank the Coors Light.
Almost a year old. Actually, that is a year old.
Time flies when you're having. That was back when we were doing some taste.
Yeah, that was August
panels.
of last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was good. It was nice and cold. I didn't mind it.
It was.
That's the thing, though. When I started becoming a beer snob, right? Like I don't drink macro beer because of what they do to our industry. They try to shut us down and stuff like that. But I used to think like, oh, it's horrible beer. And like I would go to a Buccaneers game, and like they don't have craft beer usually, so you have to drink like Bud Light or whatever. And like I always thought it was disgusting. But something's changed in me now where I can even appreciate the macro beers. I don't know what it is.
Well, the one thing you'd appreciate from the macro beers is that they're...
You're going to say consistency. It's the same every time.
Yeah, it's the same beer every time. Yeah. I mean, but again, I don't drink them. I mean, I look for alternatives other than the macro stuff. I mean, yes, I do partake in some Coors Light, usually when I go to the woods. But that's about the only time I partake, you know.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. I feel like my tastes have changed. Like, it's weird. Like, once I was turned on to craft beer, I couldn't touch a Bud Light or a Coors Light without wanting to vomit. Like, it felt like I got a headache right away drinking it. Then, you know, years later, suddenly I'm like, I can drink this and it doesn't taste too bad. I don't know. It's just something weird that happens with your palate. It's like when you change your diet or whatever. I don't know. There is some news while we're working into this next beer, which is a new Four Stacks IPA called All Mixed Up, 6.2%.
Yes.
60 IBUs.
60 IBUs.
Before we get into the rest of the stats on it, though, we can talk about some recent developments in the beer news world, or beer world news, whatever. Barley Mow, a local brewery. They're located.
I think Largo area.
Yeah, Largo.
By Paradise, I believe.
Near Clearwater. They have decided, their owners have decided to start a new brewery.
Right.
A 30-barrel brew house, right?
Well, I think that's what they have now.
Okay, and
they're shifting development from their current status at Barley Mow, keeping open the tavern, which, if I remember correctly, is.
I've not been to either one. Of them.
Well, the tavern opened recently.
Too far.
But the tavern has a 3-barrel.
Well, they got the Raven or something.
Or the
like
Raven.
Yeah, the Raven. That's a new restaurant.
That's the tavern.
But I guess Barley Mow has to move because somebody owns the building and they're redeveloping the area, so they're knocking everything down. So Barley Mow has to move anyway. But what they've decided to do is start a new brewery with some core brands that they've already announced. I don't understand how you can announce core brands. We've been doing this for 18 months and we don't have core brands. Why? Because we're experimenting.
We do per se, but we don't push them heavily. Our core brands.
We're working our way. You don't say this is my core brand, and you have to the customers dictate what your core brand is.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just be. This isn't like an Applebee's.
No.
You're gonna get the sizzling steak fajitas or whatever. I don't know what I don't go to Applebee's. I don't know what they have. Yeah. For a vegetarian like me, they have grilled cheese and some French fries. But anyway,
some potato skins.
So that frustrates me. But anyway, they're moving Barley Mow. They're taking out of distribution.
Yeah.
And Barley Mow I feel like they've worked really hard to make some strides the past year. Brown Distributing is their local distributor. I've seen them at Total Wine. I've seen them all over the place. We buy their beer from time to time. My guess is that maybe the brand wasn't moving as well as they had hoped it would. Yeah. They were canning and everything like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that they still have, tons of cans. They have tons of product and things like that. I mean, from what I read, it looks like they're just going to push everything through the tavern for now.
Well, they're moving it to, I guess they have another tavern and they're moving to that place.
Well, they're because they have, like I said, at the Raven, they have a 3-barrel brew house there.
Yeah, so they're moving Barley Mow to the Raven.
Yeah,
and then they're starting a new brewery somewhere else. They're taking.
From my understanding,
could you imagine if I was like, "Hey, you're gonna go down to the basement, and I'm gonna take this stuff, and I'm gonna go here with it, and you can't come." I mean, how like that? I don't know if that's what happened, but
yeah.
I feel bad for their team, and I said it publicly, so this is already public. All my opinions on this, and I have to be careful because we're involved, but in the brewing industry, but. I hate to see this where you're just like, this one didn't work. We're just going to cover it up and we're going to make a new one and then people are just going to love it.
I mean, you wonder with the employees and things like that. I wonder if they're just shifting the employees from Barley Mow to the newer brand.
Maybe, but if
that's going to happen.
If
I can't see them, wanting to just shut down doors and then just tell everybody F off.
They're basically shuttering Barley Mow down to 3 barrels, which is what we do.
Right.
And they're going to be. God, could you imagine, if I started a new brewery and I was like, all that work that you did building Four Stacks, bragging about it, talking to your friends, getting everybody here, we're just going to do something else now. I need you on board over here. How would you feel about that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a paycheck, but still.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hate to shit on people. I just, as a craft, we're involved in the industry. I feel like we have a moral obligation to stand up and say, you know what, that's fucked up. Number one, the craft beer consumer is not some little puppet where you just open, okay, so you make 3 new core beers and they have a cool name and they're just going to rush out and buy your shit. That's not how it works. That's insulting to me as a buyer. And number 2, as somebody who, I'm a worker in the industry, I just don't, that is not the way we want to be represented.
Right. I
feel like Big Storm, 3 Daughters, big money behind them. I feel like they might as well be the same thing.
Yeah.
I know I'm high horse. I'm
it's
trying to get knocked out, right?
Yeah.
But do you disagree?
No, at some points I do. I can understand your.
Which point?
Well, see, my thing is I'm a glass. I try to look at things glass half full.
That's just because you're young.
No, I've been shitted on before quite a bit.
Please, sir, may I have another?
Yeah, when my job I had before, we'd always joke. We'd always look at the worst things. So if any bit of positivity came out of it, it was something to celebrate.
Right.
You know, and so you always go into that mindset of something negative there. You know, I really hope, and this is probably what they're going to do, like I said, is move their employees from one brand to another. You know, and I know from other things that, you know, they recently changed brewers, and I don't know how long ago, and I wish I could remember her name.
Her name, I forget her name.
Had joined the team and started doing everything there. But yeah, I mean, I feel for her. You know, now she's been working on these beers and honing her skills in these beers, and now she's going to hone the skills in for an entire different set of beers, and do.
It just makes you wonder, like, what am I doing? Like, what was
I
building?
And I wonder, and I mean, and then too, you wonder, are they going to start contract brewing? Are they going to send brewing out somewhere else? And I don't know if, and I thought I heard somewhere that people were contract brewing at their current facility. Where they're at now, so I don't know if that was correct, where that's going to go.
Like, I didn't come from like a wealthy background. Like, I don't have a shit ton of money. Like, everything we've done here has been like homegrown, like bootstrapped. Like, I would love to have big money, I just don't. But like, we've worked hard for every single little, you know, like what's that football movie with Al Pacino?
No, of course. I was thinking about it too.
Well, he's talking about like an inch, you know, every inch matters, and like,
God bless America.
It's
Jamie Foxx was in that one.
Maybe we should know this.
I know, it's horrible.
I would look it up, but my phone's recording the
been a long
episode.
day.
It's not the longest yard. It's
no. It's
Well, anyway, yeah. Go ahead and pull your phone out. You're gonna feel stupid when you.
I'm gonna whip it out real quick.
But anyway, like, it's a game of inches, and every inch matters to us. And I just don't like when people come in and they're just like, you know, we don't like that. We're going to start a new one. I don't know. Wait, what's your search term? Let's test your Google foo.
Any given
Sunday.
Yep.
So it's a game of inches, and this to me reeks of an owner. And I don't know the owners, so I'm speaking out of school, I guess, but it's like, we're not getting the returns we want from this brand, so we're going to basically wash it out, like write it down, and then we're going to start a new brand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we had better understanding of why they were doing the switch, and you know,
there's nothing on their Facebook page. I couldn't find any press release.
I didn't either. I happened to see it on Florida.
Beer in Florida, I think.
Yeah, Beer in Florida.
Gerard Whalen.
Yeah, so Gerard, I saw his post, and that was the only thing that I saw, and I heard it from someone else.
Yeah.
So I tried to research, and that was the only thing that I found.
I didn't find anything else either.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess, you know, to have a better understanding, you want to hear something about, you know, why make the decision to kind of wash, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know the barley mow people. Like, Thomas. Every time we go to a festival, he's there slinging beer. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's move to our beer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a positive story, which is
the trend.
We have this kick-ass beer called All Mixed Up.
We do.
Which is batch 311.
It is batch 300.
And named in honor of 311.
It is, yeah.
And it's a New England style IPA, also known as Pale Wheat Ale, also known as
Turbid
Hazy IPA, Turbid IPA.
Hazy Bros.
Yeah, so as you can see, not super, like, it's not clear, but it's not super turbid or hazy.
Right, it doesn't look like a milkshake.
Joey Redner would be proud of us.
He probably would.
We did use it.
Wayne would be happy.
Wayne would be happy. There's probably some little bit of yeast in suspension, but overall it's a pretty clean beer, which I think matters. It matters to me.
It is.
We used lupulin powder for the first time.
We did. It was the first time we ever used
Mosaic, right?
Yeah, Mosaic lupulin powder.
Powder?
Yeah. It was a powder.
How'd your date go last night?
It was
Plowder.
It was Plowder.
That's cool.
But yeah, so it was a new product. So we used a new yeast strain and a new hop product, which is something we never used before. We dry hopped it differently, and we did a lot of things differently that we did.
Threw in our adjuncts, we didn't overdo it like a lot of people do. We didn't throw any pulp or juice or any bullshit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're pouring in jugs of whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I think we did pretty well.
The only jugs we poured in were jugs of Mike's sweat as he's making the beer.
Massive amounts of it.
So we use lupulin powder, which is like pure hop extract, essentially.
Well, what they do is they take the hop and they freeze dry it and they shred it, in other words, and it becomes just a really light powder.
Sticky icky.
Oh, it's very intense. So
you got it in your eye the other day.
I did. So normal Mosaic alphas.
Supposed to shoot in your eye.
Yeah, probably. Mosaic alphas are usually hover around about 11-12%. The alpha acid for this lupulin is 22%. It's twice as potent as what we normally use.
And it's twice as expensive. It's 30 bucks a pound.
So it's quite intense. And so, when you use it, you have to kind of understand what you're using and where to add it in it. So there's a lot of late additions in the boil. We did add it some in dry hop as well.
Yeah.
And it was pretty intense.
Well, we added, so the New England IPA, sorry to cut you off, but typically you add all your hops at the end. Like even now, like New England IPA isn't good enough. You have to have a 0 IBU IPA, which I think is bullshit because there's an IPA has bitterness. Like that is, that's what it's for. Like that's where the name came from.
Right.
You can't just have a 0 IBU IPA. Like I just feel like it's total hype and bullshit. But anyway, so that's like where we're going next. But the New England style IPA, you have some would throw in some wheat or some oats to make it a little bit of haze. You throw in straight lupulin powder to make it, we usually use a mesh bag. That's, by the way, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We didn't use a bag and it still settled out fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so instead of throwing in your hops at 60 minutes into the boil, 30, whatever, we threw it all at the end. 15, 10, 5, and 1. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And you had to use, we use like 60% of our powder.
We used a large majority of it, just in this one beer. So, but
it's the result. So we mosaic some Citra at the end, Equinaut, which we love now. Yeah. Amarillo.
Yeah, some Amarillo. I think we even threw some Zaka in the beginning.
Yeah, we tried, but
started off with some Warrior.
I just find it interesting. We always put the dry hop in the hop bag, because we didn't want it to sit in the beer, and now here we go. It's
nice and pretty.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this beer?
This one? Well, I'm really excited about it. I liked it. I mean, as soon as we put it in kegs, I came in and got a crowler of it so I could sit at home. We put this on last week around July 4th, and so I came in on that day and filled up a crowler just so I can sit at home while I was grilling. It. Yeah, it was. I sat just front yard crowler with my new koozie.
Yeah, there you go. We got
koozie, and just sat out there and just hammered it, and it was delicious.
Well, it's very citrus in the nose.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of pine and like maybe like a lime and lemon zest.
Which is that Equinaut shine.
It is. When we first up through the bright tank, I was like, I'm not sure this is what we want. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it goes on tap, and it was way different.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really came into its own. It's a citrus beer with some tropical fruits, some lemon lime. The nose on it is fantastic. Yeah. My wife likened it to Mega Mix.
Right, which is the fact that the fact that she liked it means that it's definitely a big beer.
And I've talked about Heather's beer taste on the show, but let's just be clear: she has not really liked any of our IPAs.
No.
Or pale ales, and I've always
not
been
even Hopticon, which is surprising.
No, she doesn't like Hopticon. I've been chasing her approval, it's such a sad story.
It is.
And this one, she's like, you weren't here, but you heard the story. But she takes a taster and she's like, no, that's not right. You didn't give me the right beer. And Liz is like, yeah, I gave you the right beer, and she's like, oh my god. She's like, it tastes like Mega Mix. You did it. And I was like, finally, so you and I, we can sleep at night.
Yeah, we've made it now. Send it to GABF. I'll wait my award.
We should have sent it to GABF.
That's.
But anyway, it's so because it's all the hops are at the end instead of beginning of the boil, which we don't throw them all at the beginning anyway. But it's very smooth, not a lot of bitterness.
Right.
I feel like it's a little bit sweeter than most. Certainly sweeter than that.
Yeah, that's pretty dry.
It's sweeter than your typical, regular IPA, because the yeast we use New England yeast, Vermont yeast, and
is it a Burlington? I can't remember what the
Burlington Ale, White Labs Burlington Ale,
yeah, Burlington Ale,
which they say is a heady topper yeast, but I don't know. Yeah. And overall, it has I feel like the hop character is really clean and clear. It's like I've had some New England IPAs where it just feels like I'm drinking like pulp or something like that. Yeah, Mango Mosaico is coming out next week, right? It's almost done.
That's what I'm shooting for. Yeah.
Any other notes or comments about the beer?
I know Sam's going to be excited because Sam was asking about Mosaic.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. So now you just gave it away. I was trying to hide it from him. I like to surprise people.
I already told him yesterday.
Okay.
I know you like to hold things back. I'm like, no, let's tell people. What's the point?
I want to build up the anticipation.
Anticipation of knowing what it is. Anticipation of nothing is anticipation of nothing.
Like, oh, it's making music. Oh,
he's like, yeah, he said Mike's talking to me about stuff, but he wouldn't say anything. I'm like,
I told him, I says, I'm not the one to ask. I go, I'll hide everything.
Because you're an asshole.
I'll go take it to the grave. I go, you got to go talk to the other guy.
And I'll loose lips, sink ships, right?
Just loose lips, man.
You know what?
Company secrets out the window.
Customers deserve to know. Sam, you deserve to know. And I endorse this message. Anything else? Game of Thrones is coming back on, so we're gonna.
Still haven't watched a single episode.
You're a loser.
So
comment and tell him he's a loser.
Let's go back to watching my Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that against you for the rest of your life.
That's fine with me.
I guess that's it. So it's time for the mystery beer now. We forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right, and so we're back. It's the mystery beer segment, our favorite time.
It is.
Where Liz brings us old beer and forces us to guess what it is. She's going to pour some beer. We're going to try to guess who made it, what style it is, and what beer it is, if we're lucky. Yeah. Last one it wasn't Highlight, was it? It was one I got right and you got wrong.
No, I don't.
It was Highlight last time.
It was Highlight last time. Okay, before that it was one that I got right and you got wrong. Okay, just making sure. So we do have a total that we're going to post online as soon as I have a free minute. But for now, Liz, we're waiting on the bottle or can. Laughter.
I'm going to feel. I think I have a water over here.
That's in between your hands.
Well, I know what it is. I'm just kidding. Because this is a contest that I'm winning. It's lagery. So it's a can. And you're not going to ask for any hints today.
You got too many hints for the last couple.
Yeah.
All I did was ask her if it was local or regional. Literally the same question I ask on every one.
No, you said, is it local?
Okay.
Which I think it was a can, which eliminates 90% of the market.
Oh, the last one was a bottle.
Yeah.
The last one was, that's right.
It was independent.
You said it was Highlight.
That was the one before
You
that.
lied. See, I knew that I... God.
Highlight, then it was independent.
You're all
Collusion.
gaslighting me. You're gaslighting me here.
It's collusion.
It is collusion.
Or is it delusion?
It's probably a bit of both, to be honest. I get lagerness, fruity lager yeast profile, but it has a little bit of it doesn't taste to me like a cheap beer. It's got like a bit of a light crystal malt almost. I feel like. Yeah, it's definitely. It's weird how I don't drink
very
lagers.
bready.
We talked about it earlier. I don't drink. The only lagers that most people know are like Coors Light, Bud Light, that sort of thing. And when you don't drink them, you're not. You sort of lose that familiarity with that. I guess nose and taste. But now, whenever I get one, it's like boom.
Yeah.
Lager yeast. And I'm just going to talk the whole time because you don't have shit to say.
No, because I'm thinking. So
remember, this is a video show, maybe an audio show, so it's got to like have sounds.
Like the toilet flushing in the other room.
Was there a toilet?
Yeah, it was. That was the.
Oh, the sound of this
guy
chair
doesn't know how to
squeaking.
just-
He
doesn't know how to
is
just
bugging the
hit
shit
the
out of
thing.
me.
He has to punch it or slam on it like he's giving it the people's elbow.
Oh, nice. People's elbow. Liz wouldn't know that one.
No, that's. She's too old for you, bro. Yeah, I definitely.
For me, we're talking about a reference.
Some lager profiles in there.
Lager profiles, yeah. Tell me more about those lager profiles.
Let's get some of the Pilsner-esque.
No, I think you're talking about guys. Log.
I'm just going to let the awkward silence fill the room now.
Good. God. It's a canned beer. Was it purchased at a grocery store?
It was.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Man, so many questions.
Oh wait, yeah, I thought you were getting no hints this week.
Yeah.
Well, that's I'm just
that's
making
a
sure you're
hint,
following the rules.
Collusion.
The rule is a grocery store.
Collusion.
I feel like I know this.
I feel like I do too.
It's not a beer we've done, right?
No.
Okay.
That she knows.
I always check the list.
You check it twice.
Of course.
Mike, you're super quiet. I mean,
I'm
I can give you all the answers here, buddy.
Because I'm trying to decide is it's because when I mentioned the bush, I got a giggle, so I'm almost want to lean towards the fact that it's like a bush product.
What's a bush product?
Like Bush Light.
Okay. I haven't had bush in. I mean,
I haven't either.
That's
I don't this because it does to me. It doesn't taste like Coors Light.
I feel if it's Bush, then I'll give up and I'll say their ad is the best ad of all time and their beer is great because
I can't remember.
I don't think it's a bad beer.
Like a Miller Lite.
I had a Coors Light recently. it wasn't. There's a difference though. This is
because there is that
thicker
corn
bodied.
Sweetness that's there, and that's what I'm trying to decide where that corn sweetness is. Because it doesn't taste like Miller Lite has a stronger flavor.
So you think it's a cheap crap? You think it's a macro lager?
I think so. I think so.
You are the master of that. I mean, I just had a Coors Light the other day, so.
Well, you should already know that.
If I was gonna go lager, like I would feel like it'd be more like Modelo.
No.
Is there any more left, Liz?
Yeah. Would you like some?
I would like a spritzer, please. Yes. How much more is left?
That I won't tell you.
Oh, damn. She's
try.
Yeah, it was a nice try, right?
Isn't it enough to fill up my glass too?
How do you know she filled my glass? This is tricky. It's a lager. It's definitely a lager.
Yeah.
It is a full-bodied lager. It is not a light beer. I don't feel like it's a light beer.
That's what I keep leaning because I don't think it's a red label Budweiser product.
No. Budweiser's salty. I don't get any salt here.
So salty.
Salty like me and you and the rest of us.
Don't throw me into that loop.
I want to go like mid-tier like
Like I said, I'm thinking it's Bush. Okay. That's kind of where I'm leaning to. I'm probably going to.
You think Liz would is that?
I think that the giggle kind of gave it away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was.
And I'm probably going to be so horribly wrong. I mean, it's.
I want to say it's like a medium-tiered lager, like.
What's a medium-tier lager?
Like not your Bud or definitely not a Bush. I don't feel like it's a Bush. I feel like it's more of a if we're talking like Michelob,
like a Dos Equis or a Modelo.
No, like Michelob, Coors Banquet beer, like.
No, I think it's too thin to be a Coors Banquet beer.
Thin? You think it's thin?
Yeah. The last time I had a Coors Banquet beer, there was a lot of body to it, a lot more than what's in here.
I'm thinking, what beers are in that sort of medium tier range? I feel it's like Mick is all bottles.
Yeah. Well, they do the Mick Ultras in cans.
It's not that, and I don't want to confuse people that I don't think that Mick Ultra is like a premium beer. I just think like it's when you're talking like it's $1 difference in price.
Yeah.
It's certainly not an old style. What's another like lager that's popular?
Liz? She's still here?
I'm still here.
Oh, I just asked, can I have more? Is there more there that I can have?
You just said Liz.
I said, Liz, can I have more? And then I got
Sorry.
awkward silence and a cooler turning on.
I zoned out. My bad. I was thinking about your guys' comments.
Thinking about our comments, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a decent beer. I don't think it's bad. Like I said, I had a Coors Light recently, and this is better than that. Well, if it's Bush.
Yeah, it's not a Coors Light's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not as sweet as Coors Light.
I don't think there's not a lot of corn. I feel like this is more of like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like a Busch Light. It's a regular Busch, or it's a red label.
No, I'm gonna go next level up. I'm gonna go like closer to like. It's not Is it Foster's?
I just thought about that, and I can't remember the last time I had a Foster's. I mean, I literally cannot remember.
I was 18. That's the last time.
Wow, they made it back then?
Yes, they did. Fucker. But I haven't had Foster's in so long.
I thought during the war, though, they stopped using like aluminum and stuff like that.
That doesn't make any sense.
No. I thought they were saving the aluminum for like the shell.
Liz, is there any more? It's actually decent. I don't mind it. Do you mind it? Well, untapped rating, what would you give it? Not seeing it. Thank you.
I'd probably give it.
Sounds like an empty can.
I'd probably give it. Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are just trying to cheat.
It's a pint. It's a pint of beer.
It's definitely not like an ice house. You know, it's not like.
No. My rating would be 3.75.
Yeah, that's. God damn it! I should have said it first. Yeah, 3.75 is what I agree. Because the flavor just kind of drops. I mean, it literally it's there and then just drops off.
It's a pint. It is a pint of lager. Now you don't get that very often. So you have like PBR serves in the pints. You have like your Miller.
It's not like Yingling lager.
You know what?
I don't think it is, because Yingling lager is usually a lot sweeter than this. And there's a bigger hop profile in there.
Hop profile?
Yes.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
I guess
I would not be surprised if it was a Yingling, and I think Yingling is where I'm leaning.
Wow, horse to water.
Because it has that little bit of copperness. The can is empty or near empty now.
But she hasn't given us full pours though. You can't be fooled with that.
Yingling. That's my final guess.
I'm gonna stick with Busch. Just regular
Busch, regular Busch.
Regular
All right,
Busch.
you ready?
Yeah, let's do
All right,
it.
here we go.
Oh, it is PBR.
It is? I was gonna guess, and I was like, I just had a PBR like last week. It wasn't.
Yeah. That's a medal winner right there. That's a GABF medal winner right there, man.
That's a Liz win right there.
That is a Liz win. Once
Oh,
again, I can't see shit.
I thought about buying Foster's and I thought about buying Yingling.
Did you really?
Did you really? Yeah.
Is it a pint? It is a pint.
I can't remember the last
Nailed
time
that.
I had a
Lager. Nailed that. I had a PBR last week. I bought a 12-pack of PBR. We talked about it on the show, actually.
Yeah, because I had actually talked with somebody about our adventures on PBR. You and I were at GBF. You were so mad that other people were drinking it, other brewers.
Yeah,
were
I get
drinking
really
it.
mad about it. But
And then you tried it, and I told you to try it.
It's gotten better.
It's
gotten better.
Oh, it's the same damn beer.
No, it was
same exact beer.
I was gonna guess it. I was like, no, I expect more like corn, just a touch more. But.
No.
So again, my comments are legit. I said last week or the week before the PBR is decent.
Yeah.
And I said I give this a 3.75. So PBR is well done.
That's all it is.
I'm ready to go buy some PBR.
Yeah, I think I am this weekend too.
It's all empty. Damn
I'm
it.
gonna get white girl wasted on PBR.
White girl wasted. That is racist, and I will not stand for it in this environment.
Okay. Are you gonna stand now, or?
I said I will not stand.
Oh, you're not
for
gonna
it.
stand. Okay.
So Liz wins. This was supposed to be this chair's squeaky spot. Yeah. It's not gonna squeak.
I made sure I gave you the squeaky chair this week.
Is that what it is? I'm like,
because usually I have the squeaky chair, and I'm glad you have it this week.
Well, this should have been your wheelhouse. It should have been mine too, but you fucked up.
I kind of expected both of you to get it.
Yeah, like highlight, like right on 10 seconds in.
It had some qualities of it.
It did. It does.
It was just I thought it was better than it should have been. Like better than PBR was.
Yeah.
What did I think it was? Yingling.
You thought it was Yingling. Which Yingling is good. I used
But
to
they
drink
sell
the
most of that
hell
in
out
bottles
Yingling.
now. But there's cans, but
Yeah, there are cans of Yingling now.
I wasn't gonna do England because that's my go-to, like Four Stacks.
You just didn't want to hear his trash.
is it?
Well, no, I just didn't know if either of you.
I will say Yingling's their summer wheat is delicious. Have you ever had that?
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh, you shut
That
it.
there's adjectives I could use for that.
It's delicious.
What you just said, and I'm not going to use them on the air.
I don't care.
There's summer wheat.
Huh.
Yingling summer wheat. Okay. Well, that's it. That's another episode of the Four Stacks Beer Show. I'm pissed because I'm sitting here fuming. I should have had this. I just had this beer last week.
Yeah, you should have. I'm really disappointed. in you.
Liz, she doesn't know anything about cowbells or more cowbells, but
Yeah, she doesn't even know what the cure for fever is.
I do now.
she does now.
There's
And
only one prescription, and she had no idea what that prescription
PBR
was.
works as well.
Yeah.
That's true. So, any final words from you? I'm upset about it. I'm gonna
I've got
go
crowds
home. I'm
waiting
gonna go
for
home
me.
and stew.
I'm ready to go home and drink.
Yeah, we're gonna drink. You got a bottle share?
No, I'm gonna. Yeah, me and the couch.
Oh, what are you gonna? You gonna share some Nuclearis?
Probably not tonight. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Put it on Facebook and
I've
bring it
got
around.
I will.
a 3-pack of PBR in my bag now. So
You have
can
what?
take A 3-pack of PBR in my bag now, so you can take one of those with you if you'd like.
Now we're talking.
I will-
just crush it.
Dude, I will shotgun PBRs. You want shotgun a
That's
PBR?
right, Josh. On the next episode of the Four
Yeah,
Stacks
I
Beer
will
Show.
shotgun PBRs all damn
All
day.
right. So I guess that's it for now. We're gonna go shotgun beers,
Yeah.
and I guess you have no final words.
No, I'm good. I'm ready to
You're
drink
ready to
beers.
drink. That was your final word.
Yeah, that's
You're right.
exactly what I said. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, and thanks for watching. Subscribe on iTunes, review, rate, all that good stuff.
5 stars. I don't know how many.
Only 5 stars. If you
I don't
give
know
us
how
a-
many stars you
If
give
you
on
give us a
iTunes.
5-star review and you walk in the door at Four Stacks, I will personally buy you a beer.
Will you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say everyone will give you a high five. I don't want to go that
I'll
far.
personally buy him a beer with Four Stacks money.
When you are you going to come in here to do it?
Well, if I'm here and
Oh, I see where we're going here. Yeah.
totally screwed this.
I see where we're going here.
Can't win for losing.
I see where we're going here.
Mike will personally buy you a beer, and that hand dryer is
Yes.
gonna dry the shit out
So
of your
make sure you
hands.
come in after 8 o'clock when I'm here, and I will personally buy you a beer.
There it is.
Mhm.
There it is. You heard
Yep.
it here on the Four Stacks Beer Show.
That's what we are. Yep.
See you next week.